Peter. Hi, baby. Hey guys, it's Katie. So I've had a request to film a video talking all about craft fairs and all that kind of stuff. So that is what I am doing today. He's touching my tripod. So I was requested to do a kind of video talking all about craft fairs, giving you guys some tips, do's and don'ts, stuff like that. So that is a video that I will be filming today. So I've been doing craft fairs for about like 3-4 years. I did my first one 4 years ago maybe. And when I was doing it, I did a ton of research, and it was really hard for me to kind of figure out everything I needed to know. There's pieces here and there, but I felt like I was always kind of missing something. I didn't really know how to make displays to properly display my jewelry and stuff like that. But today I'm going to be sharing with you guys everything I've learned in the past few years about craft fairs into one giant video. So I hope this helps you, and everything you want to know is in this one video, so you don't have to go searching and doing a ton of research like I had to do. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys, so let's jump right in. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is probably the most important thing, and it's what are you going to be selling. You really need to think about what kind of products you want to market. So what are you good at? What do you make? You really need to focus on that, and you need to make that. For example, I make jewelry out of clay, just clay. I make jewelry out of clay, resin, lots of things like that. I just focus largely on jewelry. So I kind of honed that skill before I went and did craft fairs. I practiced a lot with the clay. I made a ton of things, and I just really got a certain style down. And you really want to focus on your style, because you don't want to have a million different things, because it kind of loses people's focus, but we'll get into that later on. The next thing that kind of has to go along with what you're selling is your inventory. So before you even start looking for craft fairs, you want to make an inventory, because you want to make sure you have enough time to make enough product to sell at a craft show, because you don't want to have too much and you don't want to sell out. So you need to find a good middle ground. But you definitely want, I would say, probably pack more than you think you're going to sell, just in case. I made kind of a lot of things, and I didn't really sell a lot, but I mean, it was good that I had some of the stuff that I had, because, it's just better to have more. So you're really just going to want to take a couple months before a craft fair and really just work on making your product. I had a lot of different things. I'll insert photos and stuff of my stand and everything, but you're going to want quite a different, you kind of want a variety, but not too much variety. I would say based on the other tables that I walked by, they had really a main focus. I feel like mine was a little cluttered, so you definitely don't want to clutter it. But I had necklaces and bracelets and keychains and hair bows. I had a few crochet items, but you should probably just stay focused on one item, because then it just gets too messy. But I think it would have been better if I would have made multiple necklaces. Say I made a necklace with a star charm on it. I should have made 10 of those, and 10 apple necklaces or something. I should have done that. Instead, my first craft fair, I had one apple charm, one star charm. There is a big mess, but you really want to make multiples of each item. That way it looks neater on display, and it just looks nicer. Also, don't display all of your items. This kind of goes more into the displays, but I mean, it's also kind of inventory. But don't display all of your items, because you really want them to kind of look appealing. You don't have to put every item you have out there. You can have some in the back and then restock as they sell out and stuff like that. Also, what you're going to want to think about before you even start looking for craft fairs is your target audience. Now this is really big because if I make clay charms that are kind of more targeted towards a younger audience, and I went to craft fairs that mostly had like older people coming in, and I didn't see large sales. So you're really going to want to think about who you're targeting, and where that'll kind of depend on the location that you pick for your craft fair. There's like a bunch of different locations, and you want to make sure that you're targeting towards that audience so that they're more likely to buy your product. Okay, the next category. Now once you have all your products and inventory ready, you're going to want to start looking for places to sell your items. Where are craft fairs held? So this requires a bit of research. You really need to kind of just look at places in your area, go on Google, search for craft fairs and stuff. I got my first craft fair through my church. It was my old elementary school and the church my family goes to. So they were hosting a craft fair in the gymnasium, and that's how I found out about that first craft fair. And the next craft fair that I found out about was because they were handing out flyers at that craft fair. People were talking about other craft fairs. So once you get into your first craft fair, it's really easy to kind of like learn about where other craft shows are in the area, because people talk. Really, like when you're there, you're going to want to go out and talk to other people at tables, because they'll really help you try and get into more shows, and word of mouth and everything like that. So that is a big thing. I also joined a few Facebook groups. Facebook is actually really handy when it comes to craft fairs. I joined like a craft and vendor fair group on Facebook for my area. I'm sure they have like a bunch for whatever area you live in. Just do a little research, and it's great because those sites, like, they have a bunch of people just posting different craft shows that are all around, so you can like pick and choose which you want to go to. So some of the places that I've noticed that are really good for craft fairs, you're going to want to look at churches. All of the craft fairs I've done have been at kind of like churches, so that was like a good thing for me. They also have them at schools. I've done a few at schools. There's also the option to do it at a convention. I haven't done it at any kind of convention just because they're a little bit pricey. I mean, I guess it depends like what kind of convention. I know in my area they have like they have Animarathon and like Colossal Con, and those are just kind of like anime cons, kind of like comic, that kind of convention. And I feel like if you made products that were targeted toward that group, like characters or like things like that, you'd probably be good, but the prices for that is kind of high. But yeah, I'm going to talk about pricing. So if you're going to go to a convention that's like kind of larger, that you can get like $100 for a table there. And that's pretty pricey, especially if you don't break even or even like break above that. But again, that has to go in with your target audience and stuff like that. Churches, it can range from like, I've had it range from like $10 to $40 at like churches and schools. The first craft fair I did was about like probably $10. I think it was the first year they were running it. I made like $30, so I mean, like I did do a little bit better, but like I found that it wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't make that many sales just because there wasn't like that many people that were in the market for what I was selling, just because a lot of older people came in. This cat is crazy. But yeah, a few of the other craft fairs. I did one craft fair that was like outside, and I think that might have been maybe like $25, and I think I made like maybe $50. But I was selling like some crocheted stuffed animals there, and those were what I noticed sold a lot more. But that craft fair was horrible because we were outside and it was so hot. But like I think it was a little bit cheaper if you brought your own table and you sat outside. So that's why we went outside. But it was so hot and I got the worst sunburn of my life. But yeah. And then I did another craft fair, and they like put us in this weird back room, so I really made like no sales. I didn't even break even. It's just kind of like a flip-flop. You just really need to like, I don't know, I haven't really been successful, but hopefully you learn from my mistakes. Yeah, so the pricing really just kind of varies. I'm doing one in November. That's going to be $35. But yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is displays. This was the big one for me that I wasn't able to find enough information about displays, and I think it's really important because you want your display to be visually pleasing so people will want to stop by your table and talk to you and get to know more about your product. So my first craft fair, I didn't know what I was doing. So like I had these like silver trays out with like stuff on them. I had like jewelry stands you buy at like Claire's with like stuff hanging all over them, and it was really kind of like a mess. If I can find a picture of my first table, I'll insert it in this video. I'll have to see if I can find that or not though. But it was just really kind of like a mess, and I had like, I don't even know if I had a tablecloth at that point or not, but I think it was literally just a white piece of fabric. Like, I don't know, it wasn't very like visually pleasing at all. So there was that. I think my second craft fair, I also kind of had that thing going on just because that was what worked at the time. But the craft fair I did like 2 years ago, I think. I don't know which craft fair this was, but I did some more research and I found a better solution to doing displays. So what I did is I bought some, what's it called? Pegboard from the Home Depot, and it's just like a big piece of board with a bunch of little holes in it. Like you can just find it at like any hardware store. They're pretty cheap. They're like a couple bucks for like a thing. I think I bought 4 boards, and I had the people at the Home Depot, like they were able to cut the wood for me, so I had them cut the wood into like 3 even sections. I had them cut the pegboards into like 3 even sections, because I don't have a saw or anything, so I just had them do that. And I also bought like a long like 2x1 board thing. They were like these really thin like long pieces of wood, and I had them just cut those up into like 4 or 8 pieces so that I could use it for the inside. And what I did is I made these like, I'll have like a little video clip, but I made these like square things. I was trying to make them like on a Lazy Susan thing, so you're able to like spin them, but like I couldn't find a Lazy Susan at the time, and I just haven't done anything to fix them. But they're like these pretty big like things, and they spin. And I also made one that kind of like folds into 3s. And what you do with these is, also at the hardware store, they'll have like these like metal inserts. They'll have like metal pegboard inserts. I just bought like a baggie of them. They also have them at Walmart, I believe. But you can buy like a bag or a container of them for a few bucks. And they're kind of like the things, those like metal things that they have at like Walmart, like at the stores, like where like you put things on them, like if you know what I'm saying. But they have those. I'll show you. So these are the like pegboard box things that I'm talking about. They look like that, and I put like the metal, or not the metal, I put the little pieces of wood like in them, and then I just screwed them, these boards, I screwed them onto the little peg things. My dad helped me make them, and I also spray painted them blue. And then this is the other one I was talking about. This is the like 3 one. This one just kind of like folds, and it's like a big display board. And these are what I'm talking about, these little metal things. You can get these metal things to like insert, and they like just pop into these little peg holes, and then you can I have some stuff on here. You can like poke holes and like put your packaging, and you can just slip them right on there, so like it looks like a real store. But yeah, so I got those because I just thought that it looked a lot better and it looked a little bit more professional. And I also got like a pink chevron tablecloth just because it's brighter, and brighter colors tend to draw people in. And I found that I made a little bit more sales with those. Although I went to this one craft fair where I didn't make that many sales because it was literally just like, I don't know what it was, but no one came. Like there was no one there. I was there for like 6 hours and no one showed up. So that was kind of a dud. So you're really also going to want to like try to check your area before you go to the craft fair. Kind of like, I mean, it's really just about getting a feel. I've done a few craft fairs, and it's just, you know, you need to get a feel of what you're doing, and, you know, you learn from your mistakes. So I'm learning from my mistakes. But anyway, so to make a profit, you're really going to want to, I still am kind of struggling with making profit myself, but I'm slowly just kind of like trying new things. I tried better displays. I made a little bit more money. I noted, like, really pay attention to what products you have that are selling the most and make more of those, because people are going to want to buy more of those. Like, I was selling a lot of earrings and a lot of keychains, so I knew that I wanted to make more of those to sell because that's what seemed to be drawing people in. So you really just kind of want to, like, it's really about just testing the waters, do a few craft shows, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just kind of try new things, change things up, and that's really just all it's about. As far as pricing goes, I still kind of struggle with pricing my things because I'm always afraid that I'm going to do it too high. But after going to craft fairs and like seeing other people's pricing, I'm just like, I'm pretty low. But I mean, you know, it just depends on the materials that you use for your products and stuff. Like, when I'm pricing my things, I think, how much clay did it take to make this charm? How many findings, how many inches of chain did I use to make this product? And then I think of the price that I paid for each product. And I just do a little bit of math and I kind of divide out, say like, I can make 5 charms out of a block of clay, and like a block of clay is like $3, divide that by 5, whatever that number is, and then I take the chain, I can make like 20 out of this $3 chain, so divide those numbers, and then just kind of like add it up. Usually it ends up being like a few cents, and then like it's like, you know, I just add a little bit more for my time, and then that's just kind of how I price them. There's like all kinds of things online that show you how to do that. It's really just based on how much time you've worked on a product, how much money you spent making a product, and then you can just kind of mess with those numbers to get an overall price for your product. So you're also going to want to get business cards. Business cards are great because there's always people that like, they don't really want to like buy anything you have, but like they want to see what else you have, so they'll take a business card. Also, it's great to throw those in the bags when people buy stuff, that way they remember you, because if they liked what you bought, maybe they'll come back. If you have like an online store or other craft shows, they'll be sure to come by and check out your stuff. So I always have little business cards with my Etsy and like my Facebook page and my YouTube page and everything on there so that people can check out my stuff if they so wish. So now, another big thing to take into consideration is the time of year that you're selling stuff. I've only really sold in like the spring and summertime months because I'm always at school and I just don't have time, and I do it more when I'm at home. So I noticed that summer and spring aren't really that big. Like, I don't think people really come. You think they would just because the weather's nice and everyone's home, but like I haven't had like, it might be the location that I'm going to too, but like, I don't know, the places just might not have good advertising or something, but usually there's not a lot of people stopping by. One of the craft fairs I went to had a good amount of people, but like I just didn't get much business. Just, you know, I don't know. Ooh, I've been talking too much. But now I'm doing a craft fair this year in November. And I feel like that might be a little bit more, you know, it's close to the holidays, so I feel like people will be buying more stuff to like gift and things. So I'm going to try that and hope that works out a little bit better. So, like I talked about before, you're just going to want to try new things, take notes of what works, what doesn't work. Instead of selling jewelry at this November craft fair, I'm going to be selling some crochet items, because I noticed that like when I had a little bit of crochet items out with my jewelry stuff, those are what sold the most. So I'm really just going to go and like just go all for it and just try to remarket myself with some crochet items, because those do sell better. And the people that come to like craft fairs, I think this craft fair I'm doing is at a church again, so people that come to craft fairs at churches usually are older people. So I'm just going to try to make like blankets and scarves and baby clothes and stuff like that to crochet, and I'm going to hope that those sell a little bit better. I'll update you guys and let you know if that happens. But yeah, so this video was kind of all over the place, but I hope that it helped you guys. I hope you guys got some useful information that you may not have known, or just, you know, to help you with everything. So I hope you guys got some useful information to kind of help you if you're thinking of doing your first craft fair. It's really just a lot of trial and error, and that's the truth of it. Like, I watch a ton of videos, they'll tell you all these things that you need to do, and you can do them, but honestly, it really just depends on your area. It depends on so many things, and you really just need to dive in head first and just try things out. That's really all I can tell you guys. That's like my best advice, is to just try it. Don't be intimidated. Just do what you need to do to the best of your knowledge, and if it doesn't work, don't get discouraged. Just try again and fix it. I still haven't had a really successful craft fair. If I could make a couple $100, that would be great, but I mean, sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know, just do a craft fair, talk to people. I learned a lot from talking to people there. One lady gave me some nice tips on how to display my earrings on these stands with necklaces to make it, you know, look nice. Just really, like, get out there, talk to people, and, you know, it's going to take some time. You can't expect to just go out there and sell your product instantly. I mean, like, I'm being straight up with you guys. Like, it's hard work, and you really need to work for it. I'm still kind of, like, trying my best. I'm trying new things, and I'm really just kind of learning as I go. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I didn't know what I was doing a few years ago. I've learned a little bit, and I'm hoping that I can really, you know, get out there and make some money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, you know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!